Hello, everyone. Keith Casebold with you. Welcome into Simply Life, and my dear friend across from me, Gary C. Johnson.
And today we're going to talk about Hillbilly Days.
Favorite time of the year.
Da, da.
The favorite time of the year.
And you know what's the most wonderful thing about Hillbilly Days?
Well, until you put me on that 10-pound diet, I would have said the funnel cakes and probably the Polish sausage.
Oh, no, you get to eat those things on Hillbilly Days.
Oh, okay. In that case, tell me.
No, there's no question.
I get a reprieve.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That don't even count.
For those
I won't even question you about it on the show.
For those of you listening, Hillbilly Days in Pikeville, Kentucky is probably one of the first festivals of the year, and if I'm not mistaken, Gary, the third largest festival in the state of Kentucky?
No, it's the biggest.
It's going to be this year, yeah. I agree with you.
It's the biggest in Pikeville, that's for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a good time for people to get out and enjoy the rain.
Well, now I'm checking the forecast for next weekend, just as you speak, so that people will know. It's going to be 73 on Thursday, 73 Wednesday, 79 Thursday, 70 Friday, and 70 on Saturday. What about that?
I've got some inside information on the fireworks.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Supposed to be extraordinary this year. The best year ever.
All right.
They have been up on the hill already working, clearing out a huge area because they've got so many they're going to be putting off. Thursday evening, dark plus 30 is when it's going to be. So if you've never enjoyed the fireworks in Pikeville on Hillbilly Days, the 11th, I strongly recommend that this year you might want to try to enjoy them. Because my inside information is that it's going to be really spectacular this year.
Oh, my
They're going to put off at least 4 or 5.
Yeah. I guarantee you there'll be more than that.
Yeah. A whole bunch. Really, they've already been working getting it put together. So,
You know, it's going to be fantastic. There's a couple of concerts going on. I think the country star Travis Tritt is going to be in town. There's arm wrestling. There's music all around the town. And, of course, food. But now you started this off with what's the best thing about it?
those donuts.
The deep-fried ones?
Oh, my goodness. If you've never had those donuts, folks, it's worth a trip to Pikeville to stand in that line for ever how long it takes to get those Amish donuts. They are extraordinary.
Everything is. I'm telling you, you can't walk downtown and not get something to eat.
You might want to try the strawberry shortcake.
Yeah. Deep-fried Oreos.
Just a few of those things.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful time. You see all the people you've not seen for a year. You hear some wonderful music.
Unbelievable.
Good old-time music. It's really a great time to get out and wander around and just be happy.
You know, Gary, the schools are out, and a lot of people use this as like a mini vacation.
It is a great vacation.
You get to relax, put on your jeans, your tennis shoes, your favorite old shirt, and you come downtown and you meet people and you talk to people that you haven't seen in a long time. And guess what? You're not in a hurry to get away. You take time to talk.
Go back to your roots. And yes, there's a reprieve on the diet, folks.
You get 3 days off.
For those 3 days, you get a day. You don't have to worry about it. You got enough time the rest of the month to make up for it.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Enjoy it. It's a festival. Only comes once a year. Enjoy Hillbilly Days. I remember clearly the first one we ever had, and it has grown immensely since then.
I too remember the first one. And I thought, what a neat idea. Now, what a vision by the two guys that put this together. And that was Dirty Ear Stratton and Shady Grady Kinney, I believe. Right. The two of them, along with Judge Rutherford, that came up with the idea for a Hillbilly Days celebration. And, Gary, it really turned into a celebration almost for all of eastern Kentucky.
And it benefits the kids, the Shriners.
The money benefits the Shriners' kids. And, the years that I was working radio, I got a kick out of interviewing people who were coming here from Florida, from
Canada,
Minnesota, Canada, and the people would say, we put this on our calendar every year, and this is our vacation to come and celebrate the wonderful place that's here in Pikeville, Kentucky with Hillbilly Days.
Well, we live here and we lose sight of this beautiful place. If you want to remember what a beautiful place we have, go up around Elkhorn, go up around the Breaks.
Gorgeous.
Just go around about any place in this area, in eastern Kentucky, and see just how beautiful. Go up on Pine Mountain, stop and look at the view. People don't have those views of other places.
Our friend that helps with the television program, Simply the Law, Ronnie, over at Pike TV, he showed me some video that he had taken up on Pine Mountain and in the breaks and down at the water. And I'm telling you, it was as beautiful as any place on earth. And we have some bald eagles now nesting around in the breaks.
No, that was a picture of me.
Well, I got to tell you, you can fly. But he was showing me some of those videos, and I said, Ronnie, this is as beautiful as any place on earth.
It is.
And here it's in our back door.
We don't realize it because we see it every day.
Now,
we lose sight of it.
Isn't that the truth? I mean, because we grow up here and we live here, we take for granted the beauty of the region. You mentioned the talent. Oh, my goodness. Think about all the stars that are on the country music highway. When you come in and you start seeing at Jenkins the name Gary Stewart, and you go all the way through Loretta Lynn down to Ashland to the Judds, I mean, when it comes to country music, this area is the Mecca.
Marlo Tackett, I thought was a great star. He just was before his time.
Absolutely he was. And he was one of the highlights of Hillbilly Days. He would get the old school bus and put the band on it and come through and play.
Every Christmas he went to so much trouble getting those gifts for those children.
Did a wonderful job. Helped many people.
So, I mean, we just have so many great people in eastern Kentucky and southern West Virginia in this entire area. And they're still here. Good people. That's why it is so wonderful to live here. And I absolutely would not live anywhere else.
Well, I got to bring up a point somebody mentioned to me the other day. And if I get off subject here and you want to go back, you tell me. We just do this as we go. But an individual had watched your television show where you pointed out that the big drug company actually targeted this area for a reason. And here we're about 8 or 9 minutes into this program, and you're talking about all the good people, the good-hearted people, the families, the traditions, the talent. And this individual asked me, why would someone target us and belittle us and take advantage of us? Why did they think less of us? You're sitting here telling us how great this area is and the people, but yet we were targeted.
Because we are such a good people that we were vulnerable. That's why.
Taken advantage of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Talked to a young woman yesterday that her daughter had been in a wreck, and the young woman to me is probably about 40. And she sat there and was telling me her story about where she'd been in a wreck years ago and had been prescribed the opiates. And she was one of those folks that was prone to become addicted once she was prescribed it, and the struggles she had had since then because she had been prescribed those opiates, and how the destructive things it had done to her life and her family and her kids. She just sat there and cried. She said, I didn't know. And she said, I assume the doctors didn't know.
Here, I had the same conversation with a young man about 30 minutes on the phone who said, I had no idea. I didn't know it was going to take over my life. I didn't know the ends I would go to keep the addiction going. And this young man has his life together now and is trying to counsel other people, help other people, and to listen to him talk about what he went through and how deep it was. And he basically said, but for the grace of God, I'm alive. You know, I can tell you all the other people that didn't make it.
Well, we lost a generation, maybe two, in eastern Kentucky because of what the drug companies did. And they can blame it on anything else in the world, but it was nothing more than the greed of the drug companies. And to a certain extent, I have to say, politicians. Because they did not have the FDA do its job. Because the drug companies were wonderful contributors to the political PACs.
Well, and that's kind of the story of this young man I talked to. He said, hey, listen, I'm not telling you I was a saint. He said, you know, I smoked cigarettes, I had a few drinks. He said, but I knew the dangers of those things. He said, but when I got in a car wreck and I got on this stuff, I didn't know the dangers of it. And after it took over his life.
Well, just like I said on that TV program, we grew up in my generation understanding the dangers of heroin.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Everyone knew that heroin was just bad stuff. People didn't know that Loratab and OxyContin and those things were the same thing. That OxyContin itself probably was worse than heroin. OxyContin was marketed as being safe, and it was touted as being non-addictive. The drug reps told the doctors it was non-addictive because it was slow releasing.
Mm-hmm.
The doctors prescribed it. People would then become addicted to it. And then you start the epidemic.
You know, I asked this young man, I said, how bad was it? He said, how long can you hold your breath? He said, how bad do you want to breathe?
Mm-hmm.
He said, that's how bad it was.
But I think there's a great awareness out there now among the public. And we're starting to deal with it, the public. We are. And I think doctors are more aware now. I think our politicians are more aware now. I think it's starting to be addressed. It's a shame that we had to lose and are still losing so many because of it.
You know, I think the thing that you pointed out on the television program that kind of hurt my feelings the worst is they actually had a campaign to actually make us feel guilty and blame ourselves.
That was the plan.
Yeah, the plan was to say, well, it's your own fault. It's your fault. You shouldn't have done it. And I wonder how many family members are sitting there saying, wait a minute, I didn't understand what happened to, my husband or my son or my daughter or where it took them.
You can't help but get mad at them.
Yeah, you want to shake them and say, stop doing this.
That's right. And you can't understand why they can't.
Because you're not in those shoes, right?
That's right.
And, that's the saddest thing of all, because here we start out this program talking about Hillbilly Days and the wonderful family event that it is. And, Gary, unfortunately, I bet just about every family you would meet on the street either has had someone or knows of someone that's been affected in that way over the last couple of decades.
It's affected just about every family in eastern Kentucky and southern West Virginia, probably Virginia, in some way. We were targeted, and it worked.
I think one of the words that was used in the material that you showed on the television station was it would be a natural disaster, and it was.
That's assume, yeah.
Yeah. The company talked about, picture a natural disaster. This is what this is going to be.
And that they created it.
And they were right.
But that has nothing to do with all the fun we're going to have Hillbilly Days.
Well,
and
no.
all the good food we're going to eat, and all the friends good music we're going to hear, right?
Listen, I'm on board. My office is just down the street, so I normally can hear the music start Wednesday night as they're tuning up and they're setting up in the park. So, I'm good to go on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
And I promise you, the week after the Hillbilly Days, there will be no talk, none whatsoever, about the diet.
Oh, so you're going to give us a whole break and say whatever you did on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're okay?
That's right. No talking about the diet.
Well, I've prepped myself, going into this week.
Okay.
I'm doing everything I can to get a pound or two off so that I can be even when it's over. And let's say one thing about, before we get off the subject of the Hillbilly Days, the money that has gone to help the children of the hospital has been just incredible over the 40-plus years.
It's substantial. And this Hillbilly Days, thanks to my friends that are listening, is going to be the biggest one ever. They're all going to get out there tomorrow. They're going to go to Hillbilly Days. They're all going to go watch these spectacular fireworks. Now, I'm not kidding you about those fireworks, folks. I've been having my eye on it. This is the biggie.
It almost sounds like that we know someone sitting here at the table that might be lighting the first fuse or something.
It's going to be really good this year. They have been working hard, and they've never started this early.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great fireworks this year. If the rain holds off, and it looks like it's going to, the 11th, dark plus 30, you're going to have a show, a really spectacular fireworks show in downtown Pikeville. You want to be there, folks.
Well, let's see. We're on about all the stations around eastern Kentucky and then several in Richmond. So let's invite all of our friends. I mean, after all, you do have offices in Pikeville, Hazard, Lexington, and Louisville. So let's invite everyone to come in and see what you're talking about. If you've never been to a Hillbilly Days festival, this should be the one to come to.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, folks. And the food, yes, it's good food.
You will not go away hungry. You'll have lots of arts and crafts, and there's going to be a lot of music.
The arts and crafts are phenomenal. You will see some people that can take a chainsaw and do sculpture.
I think Gary and I were downtown one time, and this guy had a chainsaw, and he's making this beautiful, like, elk head or something. And Gary looked at me and said, "Whew, how's that make you feel?" When you see somebody with that much talent, that they're sitting there actually carving out of a log a beautiful elk's head with a chainsaw.
When you wander around Hillbilly Days and you see the things that people have made and done, you will get a glimmer of an idea of all the talent that we have in this area. And it is amazing. I mean, I'm just in awe of the wealth that we have here in people. Our wealth isn't in mineral and things of that nature. It's in people. It's awesome. My friends, you're awesome.
You know, and I'm glad you pointed that out because I had someone tell me the other day, hey, Gary does these radio shows and he always talks about people and their value and he tells them they're unique and one of a kind and he even does it on the television show. Why? I said, because he believes it and he wants you to believe it. And this is the guy that when you're hurt, he's standing there representing you, and this is how he feels about you.
It's the truth. I'm telling you what, these folks, it is amazing to me. And I am in total awe of the talent that comes through my office.
Yeah. I told this individual, I said, if you don't believe you're deserving, and if you don't believe you're unique and that you're special, at least be happy that somebody else does and is telling you so. And they said, you know what, that's a great point. I hadn't thought about that.
I was meeting with a client yesterday, day before yesterday, and I said, your problem is not that you don't have the ability. Your problem is you don't believe you have the ability.
Wow, isn't that so true?
And if you can understand and believe you have the ability, there's nothing can stop you. Because this is one of the most talented people I believe I'd ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't understand and believe it themselves, and for whatever reason, in how they were brought up, or being beat down, or maybe some failure they had years and years ago. I don't know.
Well, you know, on our last radio program last week, you gave the 6 tips to success, and one of them was going back to your childhood and finding out what has held you back, whether it's a stereotype or something that was said to you. And that was a very important point because a lot of people have been beaten down saying, you're from this region, or you're from this family, or you're from this place. You don't deserve to be this way. And yet you know full well they do.
So, folks, it's really a wonderful world out there. I guarantee you a bunch of you folks that are listening have extraordinary talents that you're not taking full advantage of because you don't believe in yourself. Trust me when I tell you, if you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be pretty hard to get others to believe in you. So start believing in who you are and yourself, please, because the contributions you will then make will make all of us better off. I may even get a little benefit out of it if you start believing in yourself, because it makes a better world for all of us.
Doesn't it feel better?
And you'll feel so much better.
I mean, instead of putting yourself down, it does feel better to think, hey, Gary's right.
When someone uses their full talents to the full benefit, we all benefit from it.
Well, that's a great point.
So, see, I've got an ulterior motive for encouraging you guys, huh?
You want a bigger, happier Hillbilly Days.
That's right. I want to benefit from it.
You want a better region. You want a better state of Kentucky. You want people to be proud.
That's right. Absolutely.
And rightfully we should, my friend.
And to be happy. There's no reason for us not to be happy. Let's work at it. Let's band together and let's say this, we're the happy club.
As best we can do, I agree with you. All right, Hillbilly Days. Get out and enjoy it. See some friends. Take the family down. Gary's giving us the weekend off. That if you want to see my special talent, just hang around the funnel cake stand, and I'll show you how you can wolf one of those down pretty quick. But get out and enjoy the Hillbilly Days, and remember the fireworks, and catch the country show at Travis Tritt. I think it'll be really good. Mm-hmm. My friend, thank you for being here, and thank you for reminding us again of why we should be happy and we should be grateful for being on this planet.
Thank you for having me, Keith.
All
Wonderful
right.
to be here.
You can catch Gary's television show Tuesday nights, 7 o'clock on WYMT. It's called Simply the Law. Also, a late-night replay is in Central Kentucky on WKYT, your CBS affiliate. If you need to get in touch with it's Gary at GaryCJohnson.com if you have questions or need more information. On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. Thank you so much for taking this time to spend with us. Enjoy Hillbilly Days, and Gary and I look forward to seeing you again next week, right here at this same time.